Good morning. It's March 4th, Monday morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. It was very nice weather, pretty relaxing, not a lot going on. Let's see where we're at this morning. Actually going to start in oil because we just hit the opening range, started creating the opening range in oil. We pushed up to the overnight open right now. So I'm kind of curious to see what the reaction is off of here. See if we get a nice reaction. And we've just been going sideways to up in oil, so it's kind of that's interesting. And delete this line here. Boom. Yeah, so let's see what we get. Let's see. What do we anticipate? Well, where are we at? We're at the midpoint of the London session, which lines up pretty closely with the opening range, which is above our lines. So for the most part, we're looking to go long here. See how the open range shapes up, but it would be really nice to see kind of a push through, a retest down, and then acceleration away from the overnight open. That would be kind of nice to see. What is our London high to the opening range is 27 ticks. It's pretty close. What was the London range? 50? 65? Okay. We have no news today. Actually, we really don't have any news this week. Tuesday, some low impact news at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Fed speaker Jerome Powell on Wednesday. Some lower impact news, oil inventory. The big news is Thursday with the jobless claims, and then the employment situation on Friday. I don't know what the difference between the employment situation and jobless claims are. Seems like those would be pretty closely related, but so it could be a little bit of a slow week. We're kind of looking for some scalps, honestly, this week. My accounts took a hit really last 2 weeks, so I need to kind of take it easy, take it slow. Let's while oil kind of figures itself out here, let's look at NQ. All right. Start here. Hmm. So on the daily, obviously, last Friday just kind of ripped up all day long. Big expansion day. I mean, we took out these highs by a lot. At this high, barely tapped above it, pulled back, and then just rocketed through. So honestly, we're probably more likely to consolidate than anything today, especially with no news today. Um, oops, wrong button. Still these highs, so let's go down to the 4-hour. 90 days. Obviously, huge gap up. Pulled down into that just barely, slightly. So nothing really here. I think that gives me any kind of real information. Right. I mean, it would be ideal to see us pull back into this fair value gap before we head higher, but who knows? I'm just looking for some scalps today, so not going to be waiting really for any big moves. Now on the hourly, we've got we took out this high, right? So we had a high here that was taken out here, displaced lower, created a fair value gap that's holding currently on the 1 hour, and we're pushing down. So we broke this by a little bit, came down, broke this by a little bit, and now we're just bouncing sideways. Definitely more bearish, really, but we'll see how we react to these guys, to these hourly gaps on the way down. I mean, you got a gap here, here, all the way down. So I wonder where we use the 4-hour, and then let's mark out. Just want to see where the middle of this 4-hour gap is. Change this to my midpoint. There we go. See if I can get it on that candle right there. Something like that. So we'll just put this here as our 4-hour gap with the midpoint right here. So it'd be nice to see a push down to this area before we move back up, but it's kind of a long ways. 100 points. Okay, and the 15. And take this off. So this is the fair value gap on the 15 that I think if we see this violated on the 15, then we're certainly bullish or bearish. Gosh. All turned around. But we'll see. We've got, let's see, our kind of internal liquidity targets, obviously here. And here. Equal lows down here, so that's interesting. Yeah, I don't really like this area though. Very choppy. Although that's kind of good conditions if you just want to take little scalps, right? Because it is just kind of moving up and down. So this is the London, where we at? Towards the bottom of the London session, which was pretty nice range. Shy of 50 points. Asia was 40. So that's a pretty good range for Asia. It's kind of kind of interesting. You've got high low, and then it kind of basically came back to the mean, right to the middle of it before London, and then London expanded again. Basically did the same thing that Asia did, which was push up then drop, push up then drop. So we'll see. Yeah, and I'm just going for short little scalps today, I think. Need to get some dollars back in the accounts. That might be an interesting inversion if you're bullish, but I'm not. It's 8:12, so got time before the open. Let's go back and look at oil. See if oil's going to do what we want it to do. Okay, it's kind of following my lines. Let's see if it. As we know, it can sit on this overnight open and chop around for a while. So see what it does. It's been here a couple of times though, right? So London tested it, came through it 3 or 4 times. Asia did the same thing. We're way up off of our lines though, so just wait and see that. We got one more minute till the range is formed. Looks like a 26. That's a very small range. So I think I want to wait for a break of the range and a retest. With such a tight range, could just move out of it though and just kind of go. But want to see a push out and then a pull back, and then we can decide. Let's see. Back over on NQ. Since I'm going to try and be more scalpy today, I turned on my buttons, my order entry buttons. These are Trade Saber order entry buttons, which he offers for free, which is nice. And the reason I like these is you can set it up to buy high and sell low, so it'll just put the order at the top or the bottom of the previous candle. Of course, you can adjust all those settings, but that's how I have mine set. Just makes getting in a little bit easier. So I'm going to use this candle as my reference point. This is a 5-point candle, basically. So I don't want to get in on a candle bigger than that, is the reason that I do that. It's because my stop loss would have to be on the other side of that candle, and I really don't want to take more than 5 points of risk. So that'd be $100. If we look at the 5-minute, we've got our overnight open line here, and we're just kind of hanging out right there. See, this is kind of interesting to me. Will I create these trends? It kind of pokes up above there, then drops. It did it over here too. Where did I see that at earlier? I don't remember. Maybe not. All right, let's jump over to oil because it's all right. So I'm going to delete my lines because it didn't go where I wanted it to go. So we broke out of the bottom of this range. I really don't want to go short here. This would technically be a gold line entry, but it's into the overnight open, so it's probably going to work. Oil is just moving so slowly. All right, I think this is going to be our. This is going to tell us what's going to happen here. Are we going to accelerate through, or are we going to reject down? So apparently my stream is in the past. I put 2023 on my title. I'll have to change that. That's funny. Been doing that actually all weekend. I don't know. I have to look at it now. I'm curious. Oh, there it goes. We accelerated through, so that's good. What is my All right, we got our breakout. So let's see. Just curious if this goes the 30 ticks that I would have wanted had I been in this trade. Looks like it might just do it. This is a good sign for me, I think. Now we wait for a little bit of a pullback and an entry, and we should be okay. All right, 2 minutes till open. I'm going to go take a quick break. I will be back shortly. All right, what did I miss? Where's NQ? Whoa! Schwap. Well, our bearish bias seems to, at least for the time being, have been confirmed. Wow. Okay. So we took out that low with extreme prejudice. Oh, goodness. We really don't have much put down there. I mean, the problem is like all these fair value gaps, but there's no like. Now let's look at the 1 minute, see what we get, see if there's something here. I guess we got this level here. Let's do this. I feel like these should be a different color because they're 1 minute levels. Oop. Problem is we're not creating any gaps on the way down, so no inversions long. 2 minute gap right here, but or is it? Yeah. But a 30-point stop loss is just not acceptable for me, so I have to wait. Actually, I wonder what a 30-second should. Not 30-minute, 30-second. Yeah, we got nothing. This is just not ideal price action. Probably have to wait and see. Meanwhile, over on oil, we broke out. We completely fell back down. So this is more chop. Yeah, I don't like anything going on in oil right now. NQ, huge wick on the 15-minute, right from this dip. Same thing on the 5-minute. So just out of curiosity, let's see how this works. Now that we have, well, this might be all right. Let's see. Yeah, 15 points. The gap itself is about 5, a little less than 5. I mean, based on the inversion, that would be the entry right there. My only problem is that stop loss is a little wide for me, so I'm going to wait and see. Plus, overall, I'm bearish, but I do like these wicks down here. I mean, that's still haven't closed beneath this 15-minute fair value gap, so you know that says something. We still have 4 minutes left. I mean, for a 5-point scalp, I would have already had it. All right, I did jump in on oil over here. We'll see how this works. I like that we're holding the gold line. I like this push up back above the overnight open. So we'll see how it goes. One tick below the entry candle is nine ticks, so less than $100 of risk. So see where this goes. I don't know. The way oil's been, I'm not too overly optimistic, but if this closes here, I'm gonna bell on that. See how we react off the red line down here. I'm still overall bullish on oil. I was hoping that would be enough to get the move, but No luck. All right, let's jump back over to NQ. Okay, well, this 15-minute did close lower, so that's good. It's good for my bearish sentiment here. Now look at this 5 minutes just sideways. There's a little 30-second inversion. Actually, this would be the better one right here. Just did invert, it held, inverted again, it's holding. Yeah, so that one worked out pretty good. Depending on if you're holding for down here or not. Yeah, may still get there. Very choppy. Keeping an eye on oil over here. Waiting for it to make up its mind. Once it makes up its mind, I think we'll be okay, but it hasn't tipped its hand yet, I don't think. Man. It's just slow, slow, slow. I mean, it still looks pretty weak to me, but I don't really see any entries. All right, maybe we're getting ready to finally fill out of this level. That'd be nice. It'd be good to see it move a little bit. And I think we do have some kind of news. Yeah. So we have some lower impact news right now. We'll see if that maybe wakes it up a little bit. All right. So we punched below there. Little bit. Very small inversion here. So there is a very small volume imbalance right here. So oil is starting to get into a range that's more, I think, is more interesting. We fell out of the bottom of the open range below everything. Our lines are about ready to cross. So if they cross and we come up for a nice gold line test, I would definitely be interested in that. So we'll keep an eye on that slowly forming in the background. So I delivered back through that volume imbalance, so going to take that off. So we did inverse this guy here. I don't know. I'm still bearish. That's my problem. And we've been to this gold line, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. This is going to be the 7th time. Yeah, I don't know. We've got a little bit of a reversal pattern forming on the 15-minute. 5-minute looks like starting to kind of turn around a little bit. So maybe we retrace up here for a little bit. Where would we go to? We have kind of these equal highs right up here. Right about there somewhere. That's why this price action is just not great. We formed a fair value gap, got an inversion, but then we closed below a little bit. Then it rocketed up. It's just too choppy. Too choppy. Then when we do get a nice reversal pattern, it's a 9-point candle. That's just kind of big. Eesh. I really do like that though. I'm going to try this one out for 5 points. Because 5 points is pretty tight. Stop losses right there. So I don't know. We'll see. Come on, a little more. Little more. I do not want to take a loss on this. Just go, just go, just go, just go. Come on, come on, come on. I think it doesn't like my 5 points. What do you think? There it goes. All right, so first scalp win. We're back to break even, basically. So that's okay. Break even for the day is all right. I'll take that. So that was just a simple reversal pattern play off of candle formations. It was also a gold line trade, but we bounced off the gold line like... Why is this thing still here? I don't still have orders in, do I? Nope. Wonder how long that's going to stay on my screen. All right, so we got one good trade in. We only need 5 more today. We'll be we'll be happy. Oh goodness. Looking at oil like it broke down, which in retrospect, if you look at this, I took the bounce off the top of the overnight open. I entered basically on the break of, say, this candle here on the top of it. Looking at this as a push above, a retest, and then hoping for a push off. Instead, we came back down. We held it for 1, 2, 3, 4 candles and then broke down. So in retrospect, this should have been more the price action I should have recognized as, losing momentum for a potential short versus this, which was a little more choppy. So I don't think it was a bad trade necessarily that I took, but I wish I would have stayed kind of in it to watch and say, well, we're not rejecting off the top. If we don't reject long, we're probably going to reject short because we're not going to stay here. And that's exactly what happened. So, that went for 66 ticks there. So that's just something to, I think, pay attention to for next time. This does turn into kind of a trend day. I don't know. This might end up being a good entry here, but we've been at that 1 minute gold line too much. The 5 minute inside bar worked out great, right? We had an inside bar, we had a second inside bar, and then we broke short and fell. I think this was basically the same spot, right? The failure would have been after 8:55. Yeah. So it was like right here on the 1 minute chart. And then we dropped. So would have worked out great this time around. We'll see if an inside bar forms here and if we continue lower or pull back or consolidate. I guess those are the 3 options, right? Back to NQ. Man, I hate that thing here. Let me do this. I'm going to turn it off, turn it back on. Boom, there we go. This is just boring sideways action. I mean, there's nothing here, right? I mean, there's just nothing. I think I took the one good trade actually. Let me see if there was another. Nope, nope, nope. I mean, this right here would technically have been an entry, scalp entry. I don't think you would have got. Yeah, you wouldn't have got 5 points off of that. You would have been like one tick short. But that's a weaker. This is the kind of reversal pattern that seems to be. It seems to just work really well, especially when it's on a line like that, right? You have our line that gives us our direction, so we're trading in the right direction. Strong up close, a long wick on the down close candle, with the candle closing towards its bottom, but on the top half of the up close candle, right? So basically, price shoots up and pulls back hard to here. It gives us plenty of space till the bottom of this candle. 9 points, almost 10 points, and I'm only looking for 5. So I only needed to go half that distance, which it did. And that was all I was looking for in that trade. So a very, very scalpy strategy that works really pretty well. I don't think there were any others that. I mean, like this pattern would have been the same thing long, except that we're underneath our lines, and so we'd have been looking for shorts. All right, you have down close, then a wick, and a close up, and then this went 975 again, exactly the same as that candle was, which is kind of interesting. So could have got 5 points off of that one. I see it a lot with. I mean, it's ideal if you're taking a long off of a green candle and a short off of a red candle. But the candle shape seems to be the big factor. Like this one would have worked good too, even though this was not an up close candle. This candle here, um, but it's still that that kind of hammer candle with a long wick, and that long wick is kind of what we're looking for, right? We really want price to reach back down and then pull back up. So this one didn't pull back quite enough to make it green, but still a big pullback, and that one would have worked just fine too. So that doesn't fit my criteria, so I wouldn't take it. But as I watch it, those seem to work just about as much um, as a red candle and a green candle would work, based on what I've observed anyway. It actually feels to get that winning trade out of the way. So Ooh, the buttons worked good, so that's always a good sign. Does make me a little nervous using buttons because I mean one of the downsides of these buttons is once you like if you hit buy high or buy low and it puts your order there, it's gonna wait till the price hits and then it's gonna enter an order. And there's no way to cancel that order without disabling the strategy. So that's kind of a I won't say a glitch, but something you have to be aware of. So you got to be ready to disable the strategy if price just rips in the opposite direction and you don't want that order to fill later. All right, I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. We'll be back. Well, it looks like we rejected the gold line again for the 12th time. One. We'll count this as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess only the 7th time. I mean, look at this 5-minute chart. This is ridiculous. We are just in this range. I mean, this hasn't closed yet, but this candle poked down literally one tick lower. Oh, there we go. Now it gave a little more. Oh, goodness. Do these candles stop the same spot? Nope, this candle didn't quite get as far down, so this could be a potential inversion, except we have equal lows below. So that tells us we probably don't want to go long. Gosh. This is where if you think we're in our range, you just buy whenever it gets down here, you sell whenever it gets here, and then figure, yeah, it's probably going to go halfway across the range again. Just keep doing that until it doesn't. Probably not a great strategy. But literally every wick at a top, right? So wick, sell, shunk, wick, buy, wick, sell, wick, sell, wick, sell. I mean, he's just ranging right in here. Where's our box? Right about there. What do we think? Are we going to reject our line for the, this would be the 8th time? Got a big wick and a down close candle, then I probably would short that. We're getting a little wick. What do we think? It's only a 5-point candle. It's a little too rangy for me. It might work, but I would have preferred to see this wick up a little bit higher. I'm just going to wait. I mean, look at this 5-minute chart. Look at all these wicks. So it's really choppy, right? The wicks are like all over the place. But then on the top, you have all these guys that are super smooth. And so I do feel like there's the potential we could take all these guys out. So there's still the potential we reach up to these equal highs up here. That's also London lows, right? Just above London lows. So yeah, we'll see. Well, so far this inversion would have worked out just fine, wouldn't it? Close, pullback, entry, and let's see. We would have moved to break even there. And this probably would have been the first profit target, which we just tapped. We didn't go through it. Yeah, that would have worked out. But we are testing the red line, so that's good. So let's see if I get a reversal candle at the red line. That would be a nice entry. Unless this is where we just push up. What do we think? Are we just going to go for these highs right now? We're eating through them. Let's see. Took out this one. We took out this one. We took out this one. We tapped this one. All right, now I took out this guy. So next objective is right there. Boy, that inversion worked really nicely if you were bullish. Boom, got that one. And final target right there. And it is just going for it. Yeah, it's slowing down a little bit. So need to take a break before it reaches back up there. It goes for the final. I mean, I guess it could. Heck, while we're taking them out, we could just keep going. This is kind of the high as it open, right? So I think that's why I like that one. Although it could keep going. I mean, we have equal highs, equal highs. I don't know. Plenty of potential up there. We don't have any singular fair value gaps to short. It'd be pretty nice if this inverted down, I think. Even though it's not a singular fair value gap, but seems to be holding at the moment. I did take a gold line trade in oil, see if it's going to work out for us. So I got in. I waited to put my order on until these small candles formed so that I could have a really tight stop. So we'll see. Oof. Remove this to break even because I do not want to lose more in oil. But if we can make some up, that would be just great. So far, so good. Wow. Okay. Hmm. All right. Well, that one worked. So that's good. I was actually tempted to move my target, but guess I should have. Holy cow, look at that thing drop. That's all right. I'll take my $300. All right, so one loss, one win in oil, net positive in oil. We'll take it. That's a lot more encouraging than what's going on right now in NQ. I want to let's put my executions on there so I can see. Just trying to see where we went down here. Was this low 33? That was way up here. Don't see any real level there, but that's all right. We got lucky. Took the gold line trade and it worked. So no complaints here. Let's go back to NQ. So that really helped out. Now I only need 2 more successful scalps to sort of reach my target for the day. Oh, okay. So this fair value gap held. Now we're going to see what other levels we can take out up here, apparently. Taking a break at the London low. See, I would love to see us pop above one of these levels. Anyone, doesn't matter. Any one of these highs. Give me a nice reversal candle for a 5-point scalp down, and I would take it. But prefers to go sideways, apparently. It's just painful. Well, our line's crossed, so for whatever that's worth in NQ. Boy, if this pushes down and closes through this fair value gap, that would tempt me. I know it's not a singular fair value gap, but yeah, no 30-second. Yeah. Nah, it's still not high probability. But so just for fun, I'm going to watch this inversion on oil. Let's bump over to that. Because this impulsive move down swept the low of day, right? Wicked off of it pretty hard. So I'm kind of curious to see if this inverts. Probably not. It's probably going to hold and continue to fall. We'll just watch it to see how that plays out. See how oil responds to these gaps. I've not studied it as closely as I have NQ, so I don't know for sure. If it did fail, like this would be the sort of the internal high target. This would be the break even. Now, if it doesn't and offers support like it's doing now, then that says something too. I mean, I guess technically this could be a 1 minute gold line play. You have a low, you have a smooth pullback, but and it held here. We had a strong drop, a pullback to it, and then a second leg down. So possible we get a second leg down? I don't know. Well, NQ is still flirting with this one. That seems pretty wore out to me. If we fell down here, I think it's possible we drop a little bit, but I mean, technically this, yeah, see, it failed, but the close isn't going to happen till much later. Trying to look to see if there's any kind of a clean entry here, and there really wasn't. At least I don't think so. See, on the 5 minute, we have, oops, there we go. Now, if we close below the 5 minute, that is a singular fair value gap. So that seems like that would be pretty bearish. All right, that's only a 6-point candle, so that's not too bad. So we're going to try for a quick scalp off of this. Might fell right away. I don't know. No. I'm going to give it an extra. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we close below here, clearly, I think there's a good chance we're not coming back up at all. But at this point, this is not looking good. But we're going to wait and see. Hands off. Hands off the controls. All right. Well, I'm glad I moved my stop, and I'm glad I didn't chicken out. Oh, gosh. All right. So we're up. Not doing too bad. Oh, that one was a little nerve-wracking, though. I didn't like that too much. And look at that. Yeah, that was risky. Let's put the entries on there because I just got to see this because it barely hit our target, right? Yeah, look at that. To the tick. Yeah, that was lucky. That was lucky. Yeah, I think in this strategy, I need to move my, figure out if there's a way to set an automatic break even to where if we get 3/4 of the way there, I'll move my stop to break even because I mean, a scalping strategy like this, I'm not gonna sit around. I mean, even if I guess we could wait and see, it might chop around, and assuming we didn't get filled right there, which we did fortunately, it could chop around and still come up there, but that's not really what I want. I want it to go to my target and be done. If it doesn't, then let's just wait for another entry. All right, let me toggle the strategy on and off so that I can get rid of this box. I don't know why it leaves this on here. It should come off, I would think, once you're out of the trade. Make sure it didn't leave any orders open. Nope. Okay. All right, so I'm pretty happy. I've had two really good trades. I mean, pretty easy trades. We took a rejection here off of the gold line and the candle pattern. Took a rejection here off the gold line, red line, based on the candle pattern. It worked. Just need one more. One more to hit our target for the day. But I also don't want to give up what I've made, so we'll be cautious. Yeah, see, so I guess it does come back up to it. That would have been nerve-wracking though. See that pull all the way back down, go and draw down again, then come up. Of course, now it may move. It's probably going to just keep moving up. So we'll see. I mean, 5-minute fair value gap held nicely. So it's possible we continue to move higher. So there's a reversal pattern, except that it's not off of a line. I don't know. I actually kind of like this one though. Even though this nothing going on here really gives me any kind of confidence in anything. 5-point stop. So the 5-point target would be the bottom of this candle. Yeah, I don't know. Really should only be looking for longs above my lines. So actually, if this one finishes green, that would actually technically be an entry. Nope. Finish green, but that's too doji-y. I don't like it. It's interesting. I mean, you can see once we broke this trend line, popped up pretty quick. All the choppy edges down here, smooth edges up here, all being taken out. But we still haven't taken out these ones up here. So I would be surprised if we leave them. I guess, do we see them on any other chart? Sort of. I don't know. I mean, all these wicks are kind of all over the place, so that's pretty choppy. So maybe it doesn't matter as much. Maybe that's already beaten up and worn out. Wait and find out. Today is the last day for the 1-day pass with Apex, I think. I did get another eval after trading. The news blew up my eval account Friday, even though it did hit the profit target, but it moved so fast my orders didn't fill. So I sent a note to Apex and I said, hey, it hit my target, but your system didn't fill my orders. And they said, yeah, that's what happens when you trade news, buddy. Sorry. I mean, they were much more polite than that, but that was that was the gist of the message, which was kind of what I expected. Yeah, so this rejection would have failed because it wicked up above my entry candle, so I would have been stopped out, even though it does end up going in my direction for my 5 points. I don't know. Do we take another long off the gold line? I'm not so sure. falling back down into this 5-minute fair value gap. I mean, it's holding for the moment. So, I mean, this push down didn't really take out any liquidity that I can see, but we did create a little bit of a gap here, and that held. So, this is just 5 points off of here would be all right, well. Now, this is, if you're going long, or if your bias is long, this is an inversion right here. Honestly, if this pulled back, I'd almost be tempted to take this one because it's an inversion. We're holding this fair value gap here. We're holding a 5-minute fair value gap. That one is interesting. Let's see. Yeah, kind of 15 points until the first target up here. I think your break-even spot would be here. And then probably a target of here. I don't know. See if it works out. Yeah, that'd be move your stop to break even. And then see if we take this target here. And that would be, what did we say, just shy of 15 points? And stop for break even. So it could be worse. I guess if you did take your profit right there, that would have been okay. Little 6-point scalp. Let's check back on our oil fair value gap. See how that one's holding. So we did come back up through it. We've closed right at the top, but we did not close above it. And then rejected all the way back down. So not ready to come up yet. Not only that, it created like, look at all these little volume imbalances that it created on the way down. This one here. This one here. So it fell down with some pretty strong momentum. But I think I'm done with oil today. Don't want to press my luck over there. All right, this is the last minute of our 5-minute candle. See if we close below our 5-minute fair value gap. This 1-minute continues to hold, so see what the 5-minute does. Tell you what, this price action just isn't very inspiring. Nope, no close below yet. Hmm. I really wanted I really wanted to short this even though it didn't technically follow my rules. I'm kind of curious to see if we get it. Doesn't follow my rules because this is a reversal pattern, but it's above my red line. So I'm shorting when I should be looking for longs. We're going into this fair value gap, which has held so far, but seems to be getting weak, so wouldn't be a good trade. Because the other thing that could be happening is we could have this is kind of our leg up, and then let me get rid of this. Have a then we got kind of this channel down, potential break long, right? So leg, pullback, leg, because we still haven't hit our equal highs up here that we think could be a draw, right? So, okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't take that trade. I guess that's why I have rules. And when I follow them, it usually ends up better. Usually. We didn't really get a reversal. I mean, I guess technically this is a reversal pattern here, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, technically this would have been an entry, actually. Because we have the reversal pattern off of a line, off of support. Would have easily been 5 points, like pretty much instantly. Meanwhile, we have it's choppy. Too choppy, too choppy. Oh, is this a what do we have here? Is this a breakup? False breakout before it drops. I mean, I just need one more trade. Just give me one more setup so we can step away until this afternoon and trade the other accounts. I have to take this. This probably won't work. I'll probably be really sad and sorry, but I have to take it. Ah, I knew that was going to happen. I'll bet if I was willing to have moved my stop down below this candle, it works. What do you think? Let me on and off that again. There we go. Nope. Would have been a stop out for twice as much. So, okay. Maybe we are finally failing this gap. This is miserable. I'm gonna go for a little more on this one because I think if this does push off, it's probably gonna go a little higher. But if it doesn't, then I'll be sad. We'll give NQ a chance to pay me back. All right, so we stopped that one out for like break even ish, I think. Make sure. Oh, that's interesting. It killed with strategy. There we go. I don't know. I think it's getting ready to go somewhere. Starting to move a little bit. $13, let's see, 8, 7 seconds till we close below our 5-minute fair value gap. Closed below it. So let's see where we go from here. Let's see if there's a way to do an auto break even in the strategy. Let's see, so here's all the parameters: entry, limit order, stop, target, dual target, break even. Tick, offset, break even. I don't know what these mean. Break even area, break even actual. So there's a button. Set the auto break even. It seems like that's what I want to do. But what is my target? I'm going to have to play with this in sim mode, figure that out. I think that's what I need to do, though. All right, we'll have to play with that later. Jeez, what else can we look at here? I like this kind of false breakout here of this downward trend. This leads me to believe we're going to go lower, but when? Who knows? It's just not moving anywhere. Although, I mean, the range is decent. 30-point range, so probably opportunities to sort of scalp up and down in here. I don't think it ever got to my 5 points right here, right? Maybe it would have. Oof. If I'd had my target at 5 points, I might have got filled right there. Because it did go up, I think, to 550, depending on where my actual entry was. Yeah, so I guess I should have left my target. And I might have got that. Trying to look and see if I see any kind of. Okay, well, this is interesting. So we have a 3-minute fair value gap right here. Already closed below the 5-minute up here. Still got 2 more minutes to close below this 3-minute. Just keep an eye on that one. So where were we at? We have, we're going to close out this 1 minute, and then the next 1 minute candle. The next 1 minute candle closes below that. That'll be closing below the 3-minute gap. Problem is, for that, you need your stop loss to be behind there, which be a fairly wide stop loss. So I wouldn't be too excited about that. All right, well, we are definitely getting that close, but it's way below. Way, way below. Where are we going? Where are we going? Well, we're going down. Question is, when are you going to let me get in? Oh. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back. I'm probably going to give it another 10 or 15 minutes. If it doesn't do anything, I'm going to go take my lunch break and come back this afternoon. So see you in a few. All right, so this is interesting. So we came down, we didn't quite. So we had a low, a little bit of higher low here, and then this most recent one was even a little bit higher low, and then turned right around. So that's interesting. Interesting that we left those. This would have been a nice 30-second inversion, but I didn't see it. We do technically have a 1-minute inversion here, but we didn't take out a low on the 1-minute chart. So not to mention the fact we closed way above it. All right, so our red gold line crossed, and we tapped into them. So if I got a reversal pattern here, I would be very, very interested in that. I'm also watching this 15-minute candle to see how it closes. If this 15-minute candle closes green, then it would be a potential reversal based on the 15-minute time frame. But I don't know. Still have 4 minutes left, so we'll see how that plays out. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but time will tell. All right, so Hurley asks, what's my money management strategy and do I size down after a loss? I do not size down after a loss. I would size down after a losing day. So where I'm at is in my funded accounts. I'm still very early on in my funded accounts. So I was up to trading 2 contracts in my funded accounts, $50,000 funded accounts, because I got over 2,000 in profit. And then I did end up losing. So I was in drawdown a little bit off of that $2,000 high. And so I cut myself back down to 1 contract. So right now I'm trading 1 contract until I get up to $1,000, because I started off the day to day. These are in TopStep accounts. I think I was at $440, something like that. So I don't go to micros because it's so slow and I just can't stand it. The commissions are just too high in my opinion. And because TopStep doesn't let you, if you can only trade 2 contracts in your account, it'll only let you trade 2 micros. And whereas if you're using Apex, right, you could do like 5 micros and trade essentially half a contract. But for me, I just don't like to trade 2 micros. So I just stick with minis, even though I know it's riskier for the account. So right now I'm trading one mini. When I get up to $1,000 in the account, then I'll up it to 2, because it has more to do with my win-loss percentage, right? If my win-loss percentage is still high, then I'm more confident trading a higher position size as long as I can afford the risk. So right now, 1 contract and basically $100 of risk is what I'm willing to risk on each trade. So that probably doesn't answer the question very well, but that's kind of what I do. All right. I like. Yeah, there was a red line trade in oil, and oops, wrong button. There we go. I really wanted to take it, except that I'd already won in oil. And this trade would have worked out just beautifully. Would have got you at least 20. I'll bet it comes down to here. You probably get 30 out of it. So Hurley asks, what do you include in your trade journal? I'm not very good about journaling my trades. So I don't really include any kind of detail. Basically, all I do is sum up at the end of the day how I feel like I traded. Did I follow my plan? I mean, you can look at the trades and say, okay, were the trades strictly following the rules, or did you kind of bend the rules? And I find on my losing days, I bend the rules, right? I enter trades, like right now, I would say, I think this is going to come down. Boom, I'm going to sell because I'm pretty confident it's going to come down. But there's no strict entry criteria that have been met. And usually those are the days when I don't trade well. The other thing that I notice is days where I trade, more than probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 trades tend to be losing days more often than not. And so one of the rules that I started last week after I kind of went on a losing streak was if I take 2 losses, I'm done. I just stop trading for the day, because usually the better trades for me set up in the morning, and if they're winners, they're winners. If they're losers, they're losers. And usually trading more doesn't help me. So um, those are kind of the two things that I've noticed. So that's what I try to monitor for myself is, am I trading strictly, am I entering strictly based off my criteria? And if I am, then it's, I'm okay taking losses as a result. Um, and then, do I stop trading after 2 losses? Which would be $200, give or take. Sometimes I'll move my stops a little bit if the market structure kind of dictates that. But for the most part, I don't want to lose more than $100 per trade. So 2 losses would be $200, and then call it a day. It's pretty easy to make back $200. And like I say, usually that's more likely to happen the next day compared to just continuing to trade. See, like right here, if I would have got into this short, I would have got stopped out, because I know it's going to fall, right? And it might, but who knows when. All right. So benefits from journaling trades. I think one of the most important things to kind of note in your trade journal, or when you're kind of looking back on it, is what was your thought process and your frame of mind. Because looking at a chart in hindsight, it's very easy to see the market structure to say, oh, that makes sense, or oh, that was dumb, why did I do that? Right. And so for me, it's more about monitoring my mindset. Where's my mindset at? And if my mindset's not where it needs to be, the likelihood of me taking a good trade and avoiding bad trades becomes much lower. So I need to make sure that my mind is kind of in the right place. Otherwise, things don't necessarily work out well. Or even worse, you could get on a lucky streak and think you know what you're doing, but you just got lucky. And then when it doesn't work the next time, then you just feel like you don't know what you're doing. And so you've got to stay really just kind of even keeled about it. You can't get emotional, which is hard to do. Much easier said than done. All right. Well, I think I might take a break, because this chart is just going nowhere fast. I don't like it. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So to grade my trading performance today, I'd give myself. I'm going to give myself an A today. I don't do that usually. Let me see if can you remove it entirely? The problem with trading with a strategy like this is you can't go back and see your entries. Once you turn the strategy off and back on, it like forgets everything. It's kind of weird. Well, can I do this? Let me try this. Yeah, see? Should be showing me the markers, but it's not, because I entered through the strategy, so it's not going to show it. So I had 2 wins and 1 loss in NQ, but all 3 trades followed the rules, so I can't complain. I had 1 win and 1 loss in oil. Can show those. Oh, you're looking at oil right now. Well, there you go. There's my win. Gold line trade. Beautiful, perfect setup. A+. Here's my fail, which was kind of a gold line trade. Honestly, if I'd have, let's see, if I'd entered off of here, yeah, it would have failed either way. I mean, this is like this is probably a C entry because I was taking it off the gold line, taking it off the overnight open, but it wasn't really a clean retest. This was really messy, so not great. Like I said before, taking a short would have been much cleaner, simply because we broke down, we pushed up, and we held it for like 4 minutes before we dropped, right? So that would have been kind of the sign that the overnight open was failing short. So that's a C. So I guess I can only give myself a B overall. But we ended up, what, $300 positive? So that's short of my target for the day. I'm going to come back probably this afternoon and see if I can see if something else presents itself. And we'll call there. So hopefully everybody has a good day today. Don't get chopped out. It's going to be kind of a slow week. So it's going to be an exercise in patience. We'll talk to you tomorrow.